Martin, what is the point of a 50% tariff if producers, suppliers, users of copper can just front run it and import it now before the 50% kicks in?
If you were to ask Donald Trump that question, I guess he would say he's answered it today in his Truth Social post that he wants to rebuild the American copper industry. The 50% tariff designed to encourage domestic investment is much higher, I think, than most people in the copper industry expected. And as you've alluded to, there's now a sort of scramble to get metal from the rest of the world to US destinations before the tariffs kick in, because that means traders can then make a big profit on selling at the higher US prices later. Because the deadline for these tariffs to be imposed is now August the 1st, that doesn't leave a lot of time for the metal to get there. So you've seen traders talk about going to destinations including Hawaii or Puerto Rico instead of to New Orleans, where a lot of the copper has gone. So it's a race against time to try and get that copper there before August 1st.
Well, Martin, can you just explain to us what copper and the copper industry Donald Trump is hoping to build actually applies to? When I think copper, I immediately think the correlation with the Chinese housing sector, for example, and industrial policy there. How does it show up for the United States?
Well, as you're probably aware, there's a lot of interest and a lot of prioritization in Western governments on critical minerals over recent years. Copper is seen as a very valuable metal in emerging high technologies. Donald Trump listed actually a lot of them in his Truth Social post today, including lithium-ion batteries, including data centers, and also military applications that he mentioned. The idea is that it should be American companies, American miners, American smelters supplying copper to these new industries, or not new industries, but emerging high-tech industries. And that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to encourage more domestic capacity to be built in coming years. The problem he has is that America is actually heavily reliant on imports already. It's not like steel and perhaps less like aluminum. There's a lot of imports needed, and it takes a long time to build factories in the US to provide copper. So that's why people think, oh, this is actually just going to hurt American consumers, American manufacturers in the short term.